sure, why not? Why wouldn't I just kind of come back at random? You know, what's a crash among friends, really? Here I am just trying to do a show, and everything collapses around my ears. It's all right. I've had worse. We've had way worse crashes. Gather back in here, kids. It'll take me a moment to get my show back into yes, restore those pages. Why not? And let's see, am I up and live? I am. Look, it looks like I'm full on there. And then the chat room is here. We'll show you guys. Hold on. Yay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Get back. What are you doing? There you go. Now move this up here, and you strange little thing. And yes, refresh yourself. Refresh yourself. All right. Chrome is just being a dick. Yeah, look at that. Close that. I don't even know what's up with that. Close the program. Google Chrome is crapping out on me. What's happening? I'll work it out in a second, because that's where I get my chat from, and I don't like it when the chat is not available on the Chromage. Reopening it? Oh, go away. Don't restore the pages. Obviously something terribly wrong was going on. And then I'll fix this, and I'll take this over here, and then I can see the chat again, and then I'm dead. And 1 second. And hi, chat room. But yeah, Chrome is definitely a hog. Yeah, it's rough. Hold on. And grabbing this. There we go. Now I can see the chat again. Lovely. Cool. Whew. It was China, obviously, attacking me. I'm being destroyed by the deep state, one attack at a time. So just know that, and like and subscribe while you can. I won't be here forever. I will say this show could be destroyed by my enemies at any time. Also, I'm being shadow banned, and a school teacher is trying to groom my show, and also that yes, the derp state is coming for me, and I have no way to fight back except for you folks. So infotainmentwars.com, like and subscribe. All right. It was Prigozhin. You think so? He got stuck. It was yes. I don't know if we can. Yeah. Does anybody know like who we should blame in this? Probably
Obama.
Yeah, probably.
Obama.
Oh, there we go. Why are my headphones not working on the? What is wrong? Okay, I got to make sure I can hear audio.
I am very.
Nope. Okay, that's my headset. I got to change that. Okay, I see. It switched to my other headphones, and I have a question. Could the text on my other software just be smaller? Good Lord. Okay, now I think I can hear stuff.
Obama.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay, good. I'm not going to blame Chip. It's obviously the derp state. And they're, you know what? You know why? Because they're after our America Rocks. I'm an America Rocks candidate, and they hate everything about the America Rocks agenda that I'm putting forward, and they're attacking me through, in a violation of my rights of stuff. So, anyways, back to whatever the dipshit we were. Please pretend nothing happened. I got canceled. I'm canceled right now. You're watching a canceled show. This is both current and old and brand new. So, welcome to the timescape. So, here he is. Why does it look like he's reading a pizza box? Okay, anyways, the mess D'Souza, something. He was here, I think.
Majority into question. Now,
I backed up a little bit so we could get a run at it, just in case we're attacked again by the kidney. Just know that I will find you, no matter what occurs. Much better.
This can be interpreted in one of two ways.
That's right.
It can be interpreted as something that is unfortunate but accidental. In other words, you've got 200 plus.
Yes, accidental retirees. I had no idea. What? Wait, what? I'm retiring in the middle of my what? You know the only way it could be accidental is if everybody in your party's a fucking moron. No, I'm just saying that to check that box, you have to check the moron box as well, which is not difficult to do.
Republicans, they all have their own family issues to deal with. They also have ideological issues, including maybe disagreements with the leadership, anxiety maybe about Trump as the nominee. And so some decide to...
Sorry, the fuck your feelings crowd has anxiety? Why don't they try? Have they thought of maybe fucking their anxiety? Perhaps, maybe giving it the old, you know what I mean? Just maybe, maybe they weren't being rude about the fuck your feelings. Maybe that's their remedy. That's their first and only remedy. Fuck your anxiety out of existence. It's always worked for me. Sorry, that's not all right. No, Arizona sunflowers. No, not. Sorry, who said that? No, don't fuck all your feelings. Just some of them.
Stay, some decide to go.
That is true. That is. I mean, you got to give him credit when he's right. Some stay and some decide to go. Unlike always.
And this is just part of an organic process. That's one possibility. Let's go.
Yeah, but this is the Republican Party. We're talking about cowards and sociopaths and weirdos and people who read Ayn Rand on the toilet.
Call that the accidental explanation. But there's another possibility.
Oh boy, there is, let me tell you.
And that possibility is that there is some diabolical...
Yes, it had to be. It had to be diabolical. It couldn't just be a coordinated effort from a political standpoint. It's got to be diabolical. This Satan himself must be involved somehow.
Scheme afoot to destroy the...
Wait a minute. Diabolical foot. Hold on. Diabolical foot. Who does that make me think of? Perhaps where is she? Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's yeah. Yeah. There's a good. Yeah. Here's. I think she's. Get over here, you silly thing. There you go. Yeah. Anytime I think of diabolical and foot in the same sentence, I don't know why, she immediately pops into mind. Also, MTG offers bonkers theory on what Trump was doing in Georgia in 2020. He wasn't doing anything in Georgia. He was calling Georgia. He was so fucking lame, he wouldn't even show up in person to do his criming. He literally phoned it in. Maybe that's why he's in trouble.
GOP House majority. This is let's call it the intentional explanation.
Yeah, let's call it that. That's good. Because obviously, if it's not an accident, it's intentional. I think those are two main categories. Most things in life could probably be put in. Well, I would think, can I throw in another possible category? Inadvertent. And especially when it's a myriad of these kind of things. Maybe unlinked. So, lots of... it's my mistake. Go ahead. You were saying that it's obviously a diabolical plan. Somehow it's Democrats' fault that Republicans are ditching their own party.
And, we all can think about this very much in the mode of Detective Columbo.
No, he was a homicide detective. He has no real interest in political machinations for the sake of it. But let's see how you break it down, because he's always got one more question. Is that what... I'm going to be annoyed because I love Columbo.
Namely, which is correct. Now, the left is always saying, well, you...
Yeah, that's what Columbo did. He would give himself a binary choice and go, it's one or the other. That's what he was known for. I think if you really watched all the Columbos, either he's the murderer or he's not the murderer. Either he's the murderer or somebody else is the murderer. That's all I got. It can't be somebody else. It's either got to be him or nobody. Either either that guy killed this person or that person isn't actually dead. That's the kind of... Yeah, that was my favorite episode. That was the one where Columbo did acid, I think. Idiot.
You on the right are always engaging in conspiracy theories. No, we're not engaging in conspiracy theories. What we're actually asking is whether an event that occurs, and you can ask this generally about any event. I mean,
Yeah. Just, if it's about gravity, ask it from the ground, I think is a good idea. I'm just asking statements, okay?
A cargo ship careens into a bridge.
I've heard of that happening. That's happened.
You can't automatically say it was an accident. Well, it is an accident of sorts, but the point is...
Well, then it can't be an accident of sorts. There's no such thing as a controlled accident. It's either, they were kind of grenading their way through. They didn't care where it hit, just as long as it hit the bridge is the idea, which would have been on purpose, not an accident, or it's an accident. Fuck me.
Is there something more to it?
Well, in a situation this big, there's always going to be more to it. Probably somebody was like, hey, this engine sucks. That guy's an idiot. He's drunk. Remember Exxon Valdez?
Is there some larger explanation?
Yes, there's a giant worldwide conspiracy to kill 4 construction workers and 2 people in a car. Who were those people? Why couldn't they have gotten them somewhere else?
Say accident doesn't specify what went wrong.
Right. It's just the nature of what. By the way, if something went wrong, it was an accident. That's what happens. When something goes wrong, you have an accident. An accident is when, technically, and I don't want to be an asshole about this, but an accident is when something goes wrong. If it goes right because you were planning it, then it's not an accident. It's oh, fuck.
Was there a mechanical failure? And whose
Well, if there's a
failure was that? Was DEI responsible for that failure?
I see. It's too many black people on the ship. Is that the idea? They hired people who weren't qualified to be on the ship. They were just trying to check boxes. All right, we got a woman in a wheelchair. She is black, and we will put her in charge of the engine. Does she know anything? Who gives a shit? Click. Like, this is just... Why? What? Look, I understand. It's very gross. But understand, Debbie's not with him today, so he's responsible for being stupid and racist. Usually, she does the racist heavy lifting. But in his particular case, he does the kind of stupid round. Who's DI? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what caused the accident. Again, by the way, this is I think a Chinese-owned ship. So why would you even bother with DEI? Why wouldn't you go straight to did the Chinese really want to do this? I mean, wasn't the company owned by Elaine Chao's sister's company? That's the current conspiracy. You're just running straight. Did nobody call you? Are you not on the conspiracy phone tree, dumb fuck?
So the probing for causes based upon
which is fine. Just trim your nails, lady.
On evidence we have, and the evidence may be insufficient.
The evidence to push your point may be insufficient. Maybe DEI had nothing to do with it. But then, in some ways, couldn't it possibly have something to do with it in an area that we're not even aware has anything to do with shipping? Sort of like think of it as the racist butterfly theory. A racist butterfly flaps its wings, and in Baltimore, a ship crashes into a bridge because black people got loans they weren't qualified for in 2006.
You could say, well, we don't know, Dinesh, what really caused that to happen.
Really? Do they make that voice when they say that, or is that the voice in your head?
You can't say it's DEI, and I'm like, I'm not saying it's DEI. I am very...
Gee, that's the end of it? Hold on. That was how it ended. I'm not saying it's DEI. I'm inferring that it's DEI just to make other people of color uncomfortable and be gross.
DEI, and I'm like, I'm not saying it's DEI.
That was it. They didn't even let him say the but on that. I'm not saying it's DEI. Look, that would be me implying that DEI was to blame. I'm not saying that. I am, technically speaking, and this is a key aspect of the Mess D'Souza show, I'm allowing for the inference thereof, where I will state something almost in the form of a question, but not quite, like a roundabout question. This is a question other people are asking. I'm not asking. I'm not even asking a question. I'm relaying a question. And I'm just going to lay it out there so that if you're the right person and you're a regular viewer and you know you love the Mess D'Souza show, then you can infer from his wink and a nod and his dog whistles and his carrying of this other bullshit theory thing that it's probably some chick was put in charge of the engine room and that's what wrecked the bridge. And it was done on purpose because I guess Obama's pulling Biden's strings and insisted on knocking down the Baltimore Bridge for some fucking reason to kill 6 randos. And according to the Pentaverate, real human beings to the rest of us, but random people to, in some way, these are people who are, it's like maybe the idea of like killing the Antichrist almost, but in reverse. Like they know that Jesus was in a car on that bridge and he's going to grow up to bring about the end times. And they tried to wreck the bridge to kill him. But he washes up on shore in a little laundry basket. What an asshole. Yeah, so here you go. The next thing up is... Okay. You guys know I've been paying attention. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Share it out right now if you could. Let people know we're here. Also, if you're watching this later, either as a clip or as a longer form video, and you're just jumping in there at the chapters, now's a good time to hit the like and, of course, share out some of this stuff with your friends. Now, you guys know I stand by my assertion that there is no Hunter Biden laptop. Technically, there were 3 of them. One that he really turned over to the IRS. That's not the one we're talking about. And one that was found at Keith Ablow's house, which is also not his and was part of this whole thing. That's like Rudy and those assholes were dropping this off. Like, he left it there when he was on drugs and it's got all this stuff in it. And then the FBI raided the place. The DEA actually did. Raided Ablow's office and his house before they could use it. And so they gave it back to Hunter. He's like, I don't remember dropping this off, but thanks. And then the magic, the one Delaware shop with a guy who's friends with Giuliani's lawyer who can't see past 6 inches in front of his face and wouldn't know the difference between Hunter Biden and Don Jr. and Eric Trump if he saw him in a lineup. Never mind. Charlie, thank you for the super chat. Bless you. Yes, super chats, points, stars, all that stuff really do help. Thank you so much. Now, so I pride myself on keeping up with all of this stuff, but I've got to be willing, you guys know, to be called out on these things. Sometimes you find out you've been wrong the whole time. And do I think that's what's going to happen here? No. But hope springs eternal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hunter Biden. Apparently reaching into his pocket for some China money or something. I think to get his keys because he can actually drive a car. Something Trump knows nothing about. This is Anna Paulina Luna. Anna Paulina Luna, the woman who, I don't know if you know this, but you probably know this, but you don't know this. Well, you know it. You know some things you know and you don't know at the same time. You ever have one of those things where you're like, I know it, but I don't know it? Hold on, I have to... That sounds weird if I don't have the right effect. You know how sometimes you're like, I know something, but I don't know something. You know? You're like, I know it, but I kind of don't know it. I don't know. And you're like sitting there going, I know, but I don't know. You've had those moments. Who hasn't? All right. Thank you, Doc, for the fake stars. We appreciate it. Do what you got to do, man. So, let me tell you. This, sometimes you know and sometimes you don't know. And today we're going to find out what the fuck we don't know or we do know or who knows fuck and what knows, I know, you know, but maybe we don't. All right, so let's see what, this is Anna Paulina Luna, who was called a witch, by the way, by her Republican rivals in the race, says absolute corruption. Absolute. And absolute's a big word. I know what you're thinking. Like, Absolute. That should nail it down. It shouldn't be kind of namby-pamby, we'll eventually get there. Absolute. It's pretty, it's, what's the word? Absolute, I think. Oh, okay. So Maria is, hi, how are you? I'm Maria Bartiromo, okay? Okay? What is going on here? We don't know. What is happening? Why? What don't we know what's happening? This is all, is anybody? Oh. Okay, that's Maria Bartiromo, ladies and gentlemen. I guess it's a geographic. And by the way, the Dow futures at 40,000. That's got to suck for you guys, right? And Republicans, that's got to cleared 40K. All right. Rigged hoax, absolute corruption. Here we go.
Hunter Biden skipping his own court hearing in Los Angeles yesterday. His lawyers asking the judge to throw out 9 tax-related charges.
Yeah, it's not a court hearing. I mean, it's not. That's not showing up for court. You don't have to go to the hearings. Your lawyers do this shit, and a lot of times, if they're arguing to get the whole thing thrown out, why the fuck do you have to show up for that if they know what they're doing?
Charges claiming that they are politically motivated.
All right, I'm not slowing her down. Is she fucking drunk? Listen to this. What is happening? She's trying to get.
The judge should throw out 9 tax-related charges.
She's been sipping on fucking Cudlow's out of Cudlow's cup again.
Claiming that they are politically motivated. Special counsel David Weiss was in that.
David Weiss is in MAGA thing, and she does sound fucked up. This is not slowed down. Hold on. I got to check myself before I wreck myself. Hold on. Settings. Speed. Normal. So normally she's this drunk? Okay.
Courtroom accusing Hunter of dodging.
Jeez, I'm so milked over.
More than $1 million in tax returns. Judge Mark Scarsi was skeptical of the argument, saying that there doesn't seem to be any evidence that
Jesus Christ, I'm getting drunk listening to her. What the hell?
Public pressure from Republicans influenced the prosecution's decisions. A ruling planned for April 17th if this case proceeds.
If they don't throw him in jail for not showing up for a pre-trial hearing that his lawyers only have to be at. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay.
Hunter is facing 2 separate criminal trials in June. The other on the 3 gun. Also, by the way, in case anybody thinks that I found this on a site that, repost stuff. Sometimes you'll find a site just for copyright reasons. They'll slow down or speed up a clip a little bit just so the algorithm is better at, is harder to spot it, I guess. This is Fox Business. This is their own site. So just so you know, sometimes we grab these like Forbes bullshit channels or some other stuff because it's the only place to find a clip. No, this is the real deal. Charges brought in Delaware. Now is
this is a moment where Hunter Biden shown here going, Maria, can I get you some help?
Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, member of the House Oversight and Natural Resources Committees. Congresswoman,
thank you for being and would you first off right out of the gate, would you consider bourbon a natural resource?
Thanks very much for being here today.
Thanks, Jack.
What can you tell us about the oversight investigation?
I love her. She's fabulous. And no filler. That's the great thing about her. That's wonderful.
Into influence peddling and Hunter Biden's role in it.
God damn, I feel like I'm being hypnotized.
Well, as you can see right now, we know that Hunter's not going to probably want to show up.
Okay, all right, I'm calling it. Whoever uploaded this on Fox Business is fucking with both of them. They're both slowed down. This is dumb. They're both, this is hilarious. Like, somebody in the edit bay hates both these women and has just decided to make them look drunk. This is an upload issue, and it looks like it was on purpose. I'm just saying, there's a conspiracy at Fox Business to make both of these idiots look dumber than they actually are.
I'm hearing that actually the next step for us will be issuing a subpoena to Hunter
This is fucking hilarious. This is Fox Business.
Biden. But Maria, I always find
Also, real quick, and it is not. Hold on. Here you go. Let's pause this real quick.
We didn't know how weak we were, or we didn't know how.
Okay, that's another site. I was just checking another video. It's not my internet.
Close to the edge we were.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Hold on.
Interesting with this argument because we know for a fact that this administration has been using their appointees to shut down any investigations into Hunter Biden and his business dealings tied to his father.
No, they haven't.
We know that in August.
Any? The committee's still up, right? They have access to all the shit they need. Jesus Christ. Hold on real quick. Carol Cobb, thank you. Johnny from Airplane hacked it. That was more, like, what was it, dude on Match Game all the time? Charles Nelson Riley. Real quick, this is so weird.
21, when the IRS whistleblowers came forward to investigate Hunter Biden, they were actually approached by the CIA, and actually Kevin Morse was told that he could not testify as a witness. So we know for a fact that this has been ongoing, but there's absolute corruption. We have evidence of it.
Yeah.
Well, the CIA should not be political. That's the idea. Even if they want to be, the answer is no.
Yeah, but do you feel that you're going to be able to push this through and finish this investigation?
Jesus Christ. I have to speed this up. This is going to drive me crazy. Okay, hold on. Playback speed. Let's just go. This one. Hold on.
James Comer has told us about stonewalling and about how the DOJ is simply not cooperating with any of your subpoenas or asks for information.
Hold on. James Comer isn't?
Is simply not cooperating with any of your subpoenas or asks for information.
I think that if Comer and Jordan decide to issue subpoenas, which they have the authority to do so, that we could absolutely complete this, but they have to be willing to do that.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be willing to do that? I mean, it's absolute corruption.
Mainly because if these individuals don't show up, that we can hold them in contempt, and we have the votes to do that. But again, they have to issue those
No, you really don't.
subpoenas, and they have to want to bring forth contempt.
Well, Chairman Comer told me that he is about to issue.
Joe Biden interacted with nearly all of Hunter Biden, interacted. Interacted's doing a lot of fucking heavy lifting, don't you think?
Criminal referrals. He said that there will be many criminal referrals.
Hey, real quick, do you guys mind if I let me divert for 1 second, if I may? Because I think, let's see, I think I have it in here. Yeah, sure I do. Let's see, Trump, legal, there we go. I should go down to here. Because, Trump has his own, Kazakh buddies, right? You know that, right? So, let's see. Let's see, yeah. Let's see, Kazakh, hold on. Quit it, yeah. There you go. Yeah. So, hey, remember, let's see. Yeah, this guy right here. This is a little, New York Daily News is going to cut me out, aren't they? They're going to not show. Okay. Hey, the Kazakh businessman thing, which is it's a lot of fun. There's a guy named Tafik Arif who was a, there we go. The Black Sea, this will do it. Kazakh moguls, the pal of Donald Trump, teen models, and the yacht of the father of the Turks. Turkey's preeminent seaside resort, a 450-foot yacht moored on the Mediterranean shore, the Savarona. This mega vessel had an impeccable reputation. Who did it? Hold on. Let's blow this up real quick. Let's see. It's named after an African swan. It was at a Hamburg shipyard, rubbling, blah, blah, blah. Taking the waves in 1931. The boat started in 1934. German flick. sci-fi flick Gold. Wow, who wouldn't want a yacht that was in a German film in 1934? Boy, yeah. About alchemists turning metals to gold using an underwater reactor, and what did they fuel the reactor with? Jews. All right. So, anyways, but the yacht never reached the USA due to high import taxes in '38, and it gave blah blah blah. The ship languished in the port until '89. And in 2010, the yacht returned to celebrity for all the wrong reasons. A Turkish military helicopter lands on the boat. Police storm the 16 luxury suites. Scattered around are condoms. 9 young women between 18 and 23 from Russia are arrested on suspicion of prostitution. Who are the men on the boat? And what are their connections? Well, by golly, that's the fella who owns the boat right here. I believe it's Tavik Arif. Hey, who's that? Donald Trump? That's weird. Yeah, that's so Trump had this Kazakh buddy who was running a prostitution ring out of this floating boat, and it had he was later accused of many of the victims were underage. The organizer is a real estate developer and former associate of now United States President Donald Trump, Tavik Arif. This is written back then or whatever. He's accused by the cops of setting up trysts between wealthy businessmen and Eastern European models. Gee, where have we heard that before? Gee, I wonder if any of them marry and create honeypot situations wherein later on they can be used for control and whatnot. All right. Arif is the father of Arif Effendi, director of the Doyen Group, at the Doyen Group, which is bankrolled by Tafik's brother Rafiq. Its sports management division went on to represent the image rights of Usain Bolt, David Beckham, Neymar. The tenant of the yacht is Kazakh-based billionaire and Belgian citizen Alexander Mashkevich, the president of metal and mining empire Eurasian National Resources Corporation, and a personal friend of Kazakh President Nursultan Nazarbayev, who is no longer there. There's a new guy in charge. Yeah. Police reports not including the wealthiest and most influential businessman from Kazakhstan with connections to leaders of Turkey and Russia are accused of desecrating the yacht, father of the Turks, by using it as cabin to pay for sex with Russian teenagers. Now Tevfik is taking the hit. Olga, client wants sex. The police sting began earlier in the year, March at the Rixos Premium Hotel in Belek, Turkey. I wonder if I guess, were any of these women young Turks or... I'll have to look into that later. The year before, Arif was still head of the U.S. real estate group Bayrock, which bankrolled Trump Soho. You'll recognize that building. Also, same time Trump was doing the Miss Teen USA. Which article is this? This is just from Black Sea, but this is just one of the many that I pulled up about Trump's, this particular dude. There you go. Financial Times article. Okay, man, I gotta accept the cookies. Go away. Dirty money and the Kazakh connection. There's Trump. That's Trump Soho. That's the building I was telling you guys about that Bayrock financed. Bayrock was part owned by the dude who was arrested for having a child sex ring. Isn't it always just projection with these motherfuckers? Yeah. Ever since a series of bankruptcies left banks unwilling to lend to him, Donald Trump has been on the lookout for partners willing to fund the buildings that bear his name. Over the years, he's Financial Times investigation found evidence that one Trump venture was multiple ties to an alleged international money laundering network. Title deeds, bank records, and correspondence show that a Kazakh family accused of laundering hundreds of millions of stolen dollars bought luxury apartments in Manhattan Tower, part owned by Mr. Trump, and embarked on major business venture with one of the tycoon's partners. Jennifer Shasky Calvary, then director of the U.S. Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, warned in January that corrupt foreign officials or transnational criminals may be using premium U.S. real estate to secretly invest millions in dirty money. You think? Why do you think that dude from Shark Tank is pissed? One former executive at a developer that worked with Mr. Trump accused him of willful obliviousness to the details of his partner's dealings, but a spokesperson for the Trump Organization said it conducted extensive background checks on its partners, including hiring outside investigators. Okay, there is no way that is true, and you didn't know that Felix Sater had been busted for securities fraud multiple times. He pretended to not know him. That's bullshit. Just straight up fucking goddamn it. Bullshit! At this point, right. This is just bullshit. One of those partners, Bayrock's already been a source of controversy. Now the details of Bayrock's association with the family of Viktor Krapanov, a former Kazakh energy minister and ex-mayor of the city of Almaty, showed it was connected to an alleged laundering scheme. At the same time, it was collaborating with Mr. Trump. Weird. Like I said, if they'd have just dug into fucking Trump Soho, this motherfucker would have never gotten into office before he ran. Among dozens of companies, Almighty lawyers said the Carbon laundering network were used for Soho 3310, 3311, and 3203. Each was a limited liability company, meaning their ownership could easily be concealed. Trump LLCs, ladies and gentlemen. Bank statements submitted by Almighty's lawyers indicate the ultimate beneficiary of the Soho companies was Elvira Kudryashova, Mr. Karpov's California-based daughter. According to the Kazakh government, she and her brother Ilyas is a key link to the family's laundering network. Shortly before Soho companies bought the apartments, more than $3.1 million flowed out of Miss Kudryashova's Wells Fargo account to the firm of Martin Jajan, a New York lawyer. Jajan proceeded to sign purchase agreements for the Trump Soho apartments as buyer's agent. Other bank records show further links between Ms. Kudryashova and her relatives in Soho shell companies. Mr. Kajan did not respond to requests for comment. Yeah, so Trump was in business with a known pedophile, two of them. I mean, don't get me started on fucking Jeffrey Epstein, who he knew for more than 2 decades, and it never occurred to him that this dude was up to some sketchy shit in 23 years. Minimum, by the way. I don't buy the fact that, his bullshit story, like once he was arrested, I think they just kind of ran for that. So, yeah, here you go. This is not, blink. Bring this one up. Hold on. What's this? Here you go. Arms, harems, and a Trump-owned yacht. How a Khashoggi family member helped mold the U.S.-Saudi relationship. In the mid-'80s, Jill Dodd was a 20-year-old model working in Paris when she got an unexpected offer from her agent. She was invited to a gala pirate-themed party on the beach in Monte Carlo before it was being thrown by Adnan Khashoggi. This is Adnan Khashoggi's living room. Dodd had no idea who Khashoggi was or why she was invited, but she was naive and gullible. She jumped at the chance. Soon found herself on the beach dancing with a short, pudgy Saudi mogul. He ended up writing "I love you" in blood on her arm. 18 of the relationship, Dodd agreed to serve as her pleasure wife. She partied up on his legendary yacht, the Nabila. Today, Dodd, having gone on fashion business, looks back at her time globetrotting with Khashoggi with no small degree of horror. Yeah, Adnan Khashoggi, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look. I like this guy. Here's some planes we're going to give these guys. Yeah. Donald Trump's yacht, the Trump Princess, in 91, was originally built for Adnan Khashoggi. Weird. Isn't that funny? It's just, what are the chances? Okay? Do we have a maggot in here who thinks that Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and Tzatziki Fear was could have happened to anybody? Is that what that is? Is that where we are? Hold on one second, real quick. Let me go for it. Yacht, prostitute, there we go. But, let's see. City Realty, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of one. Here you go. Trump business partner busted for running prostitution ring on historic yacht. That's the one we were talking about. How's this historical gem being used today? As a high-end bordello, staffed with beautiful models who also serve as prostitutes, working at the beck and call of Tevfik Arif, Donald Trump's business partner on Trump Soho and other projects. A wealthy Russian-American businessman. He is a real estate developer who has partnered with Donald Trump on several projects, including Trump Soho and Trump International Hotel and the Tower in Fort Lauderdale. Arif was rounded up along with 10 others this week in a raid on the yacht. To be honest, if someone told you about a $60 million yacht with a golden staircase that was almost the length of a football field, you probably would have guessed that was inevitable. Eventually, Donald Trump, or at least a gaggle of prostitutes, was bound to show up. Yeah. But tell me again, the sketchy people that Hunter Biden was hanging out with. By the way, Kazakh oligarch Kenez Rekeshev and Kazakh oligarch Vadim Pajarsky, neither of them have been arrested on child sex crimes, unlike Donald Trump's business partner on multiple projects. Okay. Jonathan Lee, CFC chairman Yi Jianming. Oh, hey, Yi Jianming. We love Yi Jianming. The maggot in there will love this guy. Trump World Tower. See if this one in here, yeah. Yeah, here you go. Remember CEFC, the China Energy, that thing? Yeah. Allegedly, the Chinese sent millions to the Bidens, which would be $5 million into a holding account to build or to purchase, eventually, a natural gas, like a terminal in Louisiana that was up for sale. They had to set up an American company, or the Bidens weren't interested, and they ultimately wouldn't do that because the whole point wasn't to actually set up a real company. It was flim-flam, and once the Bidens got wise of it, they dumped out, and Bobolinsky was left holding the bag, and that's why he's pissed. This guy, Yi Jianming, right here, he disappeared. But so when he disappeared, he went back to China, and they charged him with corruption, and then he vanished, probably dead. But CEFC got taken over. It wasn't fully taken over by the Chinese, the CCP, but when it was, he died. He's gone. The idea that he's vacationing somewhere is ridiculous. He's dead. CFC China Energy is selling off its entire global property portfolio valued at $3.2 billion. Real estate, $3.2 billion in real estate. Do the Bidens have a big real estate empire? Who that we know of has a big real estate empire that is trying to grow internationally? Huh. All right, let's think about it. The assets include a condominium at Trump World Tower in Manhattan, 4 floors of the Hong Kong Convention Exhibition Center, the conglomerate's headquarters at the Shanghai Tomorrow Tower. Bloomberg reported it wasn't immediately clear what condo at Trump Tower CFC owns, but StreetEasy currently lists 19 units for sale, with prices ranging from $1.5 to $11.8 million. Allegedly, it was for a $5 million one, so it's probably somewhere in there. CFC's decision to unload nearly 100 properties comes as other Chinese companies, including HNA Group, Anbang, and others have started selling off their international holdings because they're fucked and they can't hide anymore. Seems CFC may be having a difficult time repaying debt, and the Shanghai government has taken the company's reins. The company's chairman Yi Jianming is expected to step down following news last month he was under investigation by Chinese authorities. Yeah, he's dead. He's not alive anymore. And he owned a $5 million apartment that, as far as anybody knows, he never fucking set foot in. He just owned it. Just money in Trump's pocket and nobody to evict if you need to sell it. Oh, sorry, put the Venmo on the screen. I will do just that. Thank you. I think I have it here somewhere. Let's see. Yep. Whoops. Ding. There we go. That's the Venmo of you. I'm sorry, it's up in that corner. It's hiding. Sorry, Joe. If you want to Venmo me price of a cup of coffee. Hey, have I made you laugh? Have I informed you? Has any of the stuff you've seen today been kind of under the radar for you or not nobody's noticed? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. The Biden beach house in Delaware is a front for a huge underwater operation, including a 4-lane undersea superhighway to Africa to make immigration area. Connie Kelly is, she's on it. Yeah. Thank you, Bill, for that as well in the chat. So yeah, if you feel like that, if you use Venmo, you just take a picture of that with your phone, and then you can send me price of a cup of coffee, and then it'll show up on my watch while I'm doing the show. More than likely, with your message, and I'll go, and my wrist will shake. All right. So yeah, let's go back to her. So CFT Chairman Yang. Yeah.
But again, those referrals refer to criminality potential, and they go to the deal.
criminality potential. You mean potential criminality? You wanted to say criminality, but you knew that you couldn't say criminality, so you had to say potential, but you were so fucking stupid you couldn't say potential criminality, because if you say potential criminality, people in your fucking audience will start screaming at the television and throwing popcorn.
DOJ. Will the DOJ do anything with criminal referrals?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the DOJ will. However, there's another avenue that we have as Congress. It's a different type of contempt. And so we.
Yeah, it is. Like, you've been showing it. Contempt for the country, contempt for normal life, contempt for function.
Also have that as an ability to do so. And I would advise Chairman Comer, which I will when we get back, that that's another alternative. Because, again, like you had mentioned, I don't even have faith in the DOJ, and I'm in Congress.
Let me ask you about what's happening in Florida. Federal investigators in Florida reportedly looking into transactions linked to President Biden's brother, James Biden. This is part of that criminal investigation into the failed healthcare company AmeriCorps. The Fed's probing an effort.
Wait, an American company? Where's the China money?
By James Biden and his business partners to land Middle Eastern investments. The DOJ officials in Pennsylvania also reportedly seeking information about James Biden as recently as last year, investigating a Medicare fraud also linked to AmeriCorps. Congressman, we read.
Yeah, but that wasn't his dealing. That's one. They went away. That company collapsed. If Joe Biden was hired to get them out of trouble, why am I turning into Gilbert Gottfried when I'm dealing? Why? I don't understand. Why, if they paid Biden all this money, why did they go out of business? What the fuck is the influence for?
About this agreement that James Biden had with AmeriCorps and the contract look.
Yeah, by the way, you guys do realize the whole AmeriCorps storyline is fucking dumb, because even if he was engaged in criminality, it's just like run-of-the-mill dipshittery on his part with a company. If Joe Biden, if his influence could have saved them, and that's what it was about, he would have, but he didn't. And so James didn't seek that out. And it's an American fucking company. What are you talking about? If you start, the only way they could go is that AmeriCorps is an innocent victim of the Bidens. And then in that case, they would have to go defend these motherfuckers on the shitty shit they were trying outside of their relationship with him.
Eerily similar to the contract that they were putting together for Hunter Biden's partners and CEFC, the Chinese energy company.
What are you talking about? Yes, corporate charters and LLCs are written up the same way. That's it.
Very similar ideas where Joe Biden will get equity. Joe Biden will perhaps get a seat on the board at some point. Your thoughts on that AmeriCorps investigation and James Biden's role in using the Biden name to say he's going to...
Yeah, that's how it worked. AmeriCorps Health. $200K, $200K. They didn't just send him they sent him $600K. They sent him $600,000. But you can't put 600 there and then put 200 here, because then that makes him the big guy. The guy who gets, if you're splitting up $600,000 in a relationship between two people, the big guy is the person who gets the larger slice of the funds. Does that at least marginally make sense? So you can't put a graphic up that says 600K to him, 200K to him, because it looks like he's the big guy in the situation. And that's more than likely how it actually worked as far as these relationships. James was over Hunter in terms of their businesses together because he was older. What a jackass.
Easily get money from Middle Eastern investors for AmeriCorps.
I mean, look, we've known for a while that this is how this family operates, and it's in my opinion that Hunter Biden was...
No, you haven't. You have not known this. You don't know shit.
Absolutely a part of tying this all together. Now, it has been interesting, Maria, because...
Here you go. March 1st, 2018, $200,000. March 1st, 2018, $200,000. No, the $600,000 what they got on that date. And then they paid... By the way, do you have the other checks they sent out on that day? Because they didn't just owe the Biden family trust $200,000, $250,000. They didn't just borrow against that and pay it back. Who else did they write checks to that day? Because I'm going to guess he got his $600K he'd been waiting for as a loan from AmeriCorps, and he started paying his bills. But if it doesn't, if you don't show where he sent big lump sums to other people that he owed money to, then it's hard to make a dumbass graphic like this.
Every time we bring...
What the fuck? By the way, what the fuck is this gap here? That's their oversight committee. Like, just make your own. Why is oversight... What difference does it fucking make? It's either true or it isn't, and the players aren't the same. This isn't like TMZ footage of it happening.
For this evidence, and we put this out there to the mainstream media. They don't really want to pick up.
It's not evidence. That's not evidence. That's one frame of a presentation
On it because they continue.
This is a picture of him smiling, and this is a picture of them at an event, and these are their names, and these are words and numbers, and that's a company name, and then this says something. It's not a payment. It's a repayment of a loan. He also repaid other people when he got that money. Fuck, this is lazy.
To deny Joe Biden's involvement in all this. But again, we have the transactions from these banks. Representative Byron Donalds actually did a wonderful job in one of our testimonies or hearings last week, presenting this evidence. And the fact is,
no, he really didn't. I watched that. He did not.
That they are all tied together, and we know for a fact
they're not. They're not all tied together. He did one of these I'm just asking questions. It is fucking
again,
idiotic.
his family was benefiting not just from China, but from our other adversaries as well.
It doesn't
Our other adversaries as well. Yes, like AmeriCorps.
appear that you've got all the members in the Republican Party on board with this
No, they don't.
investigation. I mean, look what
No, you don't have all the members in the Republican Party on board with this investigation. Not even fucking close.
going on with so many people stepping down. Ken Buck, Mike Gallagher, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor.
Yeah, that would be a sign, I think, that they're not on board. If they were on board, they'd be like, fuck, I'm going to see this through. This is going to be awesome.
Green told me on Sunday Morning Futures that she thinks the House should expel the Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher.
Yes, before he leaves too soon for them to have a thing. Yeah, try it. Set that on the calendar, dum-dum. You're on fucking vacation for Easter.
For his planned resignation next month, because if he leaves on the schedule that he wants to leave, you won't be able to have a special election. If he leaves now, Gallagher's district could select a new representative before November's election. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett also talked about Gallagher's decision to leave when he wants to leave and eliminating any chance for a special election. Here's Tim Burchett.
The federal government wants to attack a sovereign state. You hate to see it.
With me yesterday. Watch this. It feels like some of your colleagues are saying, well, screw you, I'm out of here.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what they're saying. I would hope.
Right. Okay. So, well-oiled machine over there at the RNC.
That Mike would immediately resign so that we can have if he's going to leave, we can immediately have a special election. So I hope there's no skullduggery afoot. It just looks bad.
Do you think this is basically his retaliation against you and your quote-unquote squad who fired Kevin McCarthy?
I've heard that. I'd hope not. He got his tic-tac bill across the line, and then he's gone. So it's just very unfortunate. This is putting
his tic-tac bill
us in a horrible, horrible position.
So, Congresswoman, is that intentional? Put the House in a horrible position. After Mike Gallagher leaves, you're going to hang on to the majority by a hair, one vote.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Representative.
It won't matter. It won't matter, Maria. They're gonna, even though they're hanging on by one vote, they will act like they have a huge mandate and a majority.
Burchett, and I've heard that there's some personal issues with Representative Gallagher, so we're praying for him. But what I will also say, Maria, is that
there's some personal issues that you're praying for him, but you're praying for him to what? Fall off a cliff?
the timing could not be worse, and I agree that if he waits.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could. It could be worse. I'm dead serious. It could. He could stick around till, I don't know, July, and then all this time talk to one of the other people that's on the fence about, either from his state or a close state about going into business together, and then they could both ditch out at the same time.
That we will essentially not be able to fill that seat. So I would publicly ask for him to do the right thing and step down early. We unfortunately do not have the votes for expulsion, as you know.
Mm-hmm. You don't have the votes to impeach Joe Biden. Of course, you don't have the votes to expel someone who's retiring within a couple of weeks.
An expulsion vote requires 2/3 of Congress in order to do that.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he's really sweating it.
And the Democrats are hoping that this seat remains open, because if it does, it essentially will put us in a bad predicament. So we're hoping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not against it. I mean, obviously, you could have actually honorably dealt with people in your own caucus instead of being assholes to them and threatening them and being shitty. You might have gotten a little bit of wiggle room.
Hoping that he does the right thing again and steps down early.
My sources tell me that he's got a job with Palantir, Peter Thiel's company. Palantir, of course.
Oh, so Peter Thiel doesn't want him to do it because Peter Thiel wants to collapse the Republican Party? That's a twist.
Has lots of government business. I'm sure if he wanted to go at a different time, Palantir would still have the job for him. But, Joe, look what's going on here. Ken Buck wants to apparently go and become a person on
Come on, Joe. Tell him about
TV
it.
talking about the election. He's leaving early. Mike Gallagher's leaving and leaving the House with no efforts to have a special election to represent his district.
I mean, look, I think this
so they lose the vote.
This is not new, members of Congress kind of departing early. What is new is members of Congress departing when we are so divided at a time when there was so much upheaval, both domestically and then internationally. And so
don't get a job or don't get cancer or don't get need time with your family or don't give up on your bullshit party's flailing, inability to not govern. Don't do that whenever there's trouble in the world. I got news for you. That train never stops, especially if you're in government.
Congresswoman, I think to that point, obviously, look, in the history of the country, we only basically expelled 20 people. We're looking at having 2 people potentially expelled in the last 12 months. Is there perhaps?
Yeah, and both of them Republicans. Weird. And, yeah. Well, hey, don't forget Matt Gaetz. Potentially 3.
A better way or a more effective way to compel the congressman, who, for all intended purposes, many believe is a good man, to simply say, in service of country and in service of the district that you've served, please step aside sooner so that they don't.
Yes, I did turn this high speed because their recording was slow. Also, as a good man and in service of country, maybe that's why he's doing this to this particular group of people. Maybe he's throwing himself in front of this bus, like he's throwing himself on this grenade.
Have to go for this extended period of time without representation.
I believe that those talks are likely already in place, and I am hoping to call myself to see if I can have any influence on that decision. But what I will say,
you won't.
Is that earlier last week we had a Newsweek article come out with Ken Buck saying that others were going to resign, and we're also hearing that potentially 2 more may resign. And so back.
Can we just start a countdown clock to me being right again? Dems are going to have the House before the election comes around. I said it. I said these motherfuckers would wreck their own majority, and they have been chipping away at it ever since. And she's not even factoring the fucking that eventually the ethics charges against Matt Gaetz will actually be brought up and he'll fucking be expelled for real. Because once the evidence about him comes out and these guys have to talk about it on the floor, it's going to be fucking awful. Yeah. Not to mention there's 2 others that just are thinking about leaving. And let me guess, if April is the deadline for Gallagher's district to be able to have a special election, what do you think the rest of these, if these guys wait till June?
To Maria's point, I think that this might be a little bit in retaliation of what's happened earlier this year. But what I will say is this, we are really the only thing standing in between whatever's left in the Biden administration coming down the pipe to hurt the American people. And so if we lose this majority, if we have people that are doing.
Hey, dumb, I got news for you. The budget just passed. Biden's budget just passed. The only thing you guys could actually throw a monkey wrench in is lowering drug prices and the border bill. That's and Ukraine funding. These would be the 3 things you assholes are gonna. Those are your only points to push for the rest of the year, and especially around the border. If these assholes continue to block that bill, if anything awful happens because of the border, you can go, we could have shut that shit down back when the number hit 7,000 earlier this year. If they'd have just passed that bill, Biden could have shut the fucking the border down. But they wouldn't pass it because the modern MAGA part of the Republican Party is the same as TYT. If we don't get everything, nobody gets anything. Which is authoritarianism, it's fascism, and it's not democracy.
This simply for self instead of service, then we're in pretty bad shape. And so what I am again is making those public calls to ask Representative Gallagher, please do not leave at your predicted time. Please resign now so that we can fill that. But again, it's been very upsetting to see. And what I will also say,
what if he steps down and they fill the? I mean, it is Wisconsin. We're not talking about a hard red state. Surprisingly enough, as countrified as the place seems to be, right? I'm going to guess that if they fill that, the governor fills it, or they have a special election, it's not going to be a maggot. It's going to be somebody closer to Gallagher. It's not going to be. It'll be one of the people who adds their thumb to the only thing it does, I guess, is keep Mike Johnson in office for a couple more months until the other two step down.
Maria's, I agree with you. I think that Palantir can wait. And frankly, I don't know that I
Palantir cannot wait. No, it cannot.
Publicly said this, but with what Representative Buck had done,
time is money. Don't you understand that? Why do you want someone who's qualified to be in the private sector to stay in government, in big government, no less? Why are you saying that someone should take a government job over working at a place like that and that their timing is not okay?
Especially to another member of Congress in potentially hamstringing Representative Boebert's election. I actually was the member that came forward and asked him to leave the Freedom Caucus. And as a result of that, he was actually expelled from the Freedom Caucus. So, we have a code of honor here. And as a result of that, if you can't live by that code of honor, then you don't deserve the title.
Yeah, kick everybody out. I would argue. So you're the reason Kid Buck is leaving entirely. You got him kicked out of the Freedom Caucus, and now he's like, fuck this joint. Good job, dum-dum. Yeah, I'm playing it at 125 because she sounds drunk otherwise.
Is it all worth it? I mean, was it worth the drama that has gone on in Congress?
Oh, yes.
So taking down Kevin McCarthy for doing a deal with Democrats, and here you are in the same exact spot. Mike Johnson had to do a deal with Democrats.
You got it. Can we just take it in? Can we just let that flow over you? Let that tide roll in, everybody. We're painting some Democratic trees, how about some happy Democratic clouds? That's right. Look at both of them, and just understand the grind.
We still have $35 trillion in debt. We still are on Nancy Pelosi's budget. And yet you've got people retaliating for taking down Kevin McCarthy, like Mike Gallagher leaving, so that you have no representation in that district in Wisconsin.
Gee, it's almost like their priorities are fucking the Republican priorities are fucking the Republican Party as opposed to saving America.
I think that there was some pre-existing issues that predated my time in Congress that led to...
Yeah, it can't be your fault just because you're the one that drove Ken Buck out and insisted on it, and everybody else is like, what the fuck is going on? She what? And then they're like, well, fuck this place. And I'm leaving when it makes it a problem for you. Eat shit. Yeah.
Happened with Representative McCarthy. But what I will say is this, we are elected to represent our district and our people. And what we're finding is what's happening.
That you think that your district, which might be hard red and very small and rural, and may not even align with the districts close to you, but you want to shut everybody else off from good representation by being hardliners because you feel like your vote is safe because you're a fucking lunatic.
Here is a loyalty to an individual, not necessarily the district. And I think people forget that.
Oh, you mean like Trumpers? Good Lord. She didn't really just say that, did she? Back the fuck up.
What we're finding is what's happening up here is a loyalty to an individual, not necessarily the district. And I think people forget.
Jesus Christ. What better definition of MAGA is there? You cult fucking Trump worshipers, like you're fighting against policies that would protect people in your districts. Help them. You voted against the infrastructure bill, you dumb motherfucker.
And so what I'm hoping is that motion to vacate does not get called up because, as you know, Maria, it's one of those things that just because it's filed doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go to the floor.
Yeah, it's just they're just basically things that you just do. They don't have to actually be. She just did the thing. Like we write stuff all the time that we don't mean.
But I would also call on our speaker, Representative Mike Johnson, to find his inner MAGA Mike and stop what he's doing. He has, he's one.
Find his inner MAGA Mike.
Third in line to the presidency, and so he can absolutely stop this craziness.
All right, we will leave it there.
He's third in line to the presidency, so he can stop this craziness. No. First of all, there is no craziness, so whatever. Secondly, fuck right off. He's not gonna like kill Kamala Harris and then go after Joe Biden. And are you kidding me? First of all, Vice President Harris could take him. I'm just gonna say, right? Let me be abundantly clear. And if it's a bicycle race, Johnson's being left in the dust by Biden. And the thing is, Biden, I'm sure, would love to take him behind the woodshed and all that kind of shit, but the Secret Service would do a number, as Trump likes to say. So,
Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks.
No, it really isn't. Anyways, by the way, chat room, thank you guys so much. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Like and subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, I have, if I can, yeah. So I got to hit the road after tonight's show, and tonight I start even later, and I got to stop off and pick up something at the theater where summer show is going on, and so I got to, I can only go a little long, but it's very difficult. By the way, if I can stand MAGA agenda, it's really silly. Here's the thing is you'll never have to experience it. You know what the MAGA agenda ultimately is? Just stop everything that works. They don't have a replacement. Does Trump have a fucking healthcare bill? Did that ever fucking show up? Ever. Has it been 2 weeks yet? That dude couldn't even get the same infrastructure bill that Biden got passed with bipartisan votes. Nothing about it couldn't have passed when Trump was in office. Nothing. And he didn't even try. Don't get me started on the fucking CHIPS Act. You think some worm turned during the fucking Trump administration that suddenly chips could be made here instead of Taiwan or anywhere else? All of a sudden, magically, we discovered something and now we can do it here? So now we can pass a bill so we can reshore all those factories? No. He could have passed it. He could have proposed it. He could have argued for it instead of the tariff war, which, again, decimated farmers and all kinds of other shit. He could have done it. He just didn't give a fuck. He didn't know anything about it. He didn't care. Donald Trump spent somewhere in the order of 400 years worth of presidential salary just golfing while he was president, dragging the Secret Service around to his own properties. Now, so let's be. And by the way, Donald Trump is not going to win this fall. He is going to lose horribly. It's going to be hilarious, and the numbers are going to be shocking to his and the rest of it. There may even be some post-election violence because there's people who've been drinking this Kool-Aid about these bullshit polls are going to get all riled up. If the poll said we're going to win. Yeah, the poll said Hillary was going to win. Welcome to the ass end of the donkey, dum-dum. But he's going to lose. He's going to super fucking lose. Yes, Dukakis level loss. And I'll tell you why. Because Democrats, you, me, real Democrats, people who actually want the things that we want to actually get passed, programs to, built on caring for people who actually need help in a material way. You want that stuff to actually get done. Not you want to beat your chest about it and yell, of course, and all that shit on television forever because you know it will never pass, secretly voting for the other side. Because that's the side of the bread your butter's on, right? Real Democrats are going to fucking vote because a woman's right to control over her own body fucking matters. Women not dying of septicemia and from stillborn, ectopic pregnancies and shit like that. Like, if that actually matters, not yap matters, not I'll march but I won't vote kind of matters. Like, really, it really fucking matters. You're going to show up and you're going to vote for Joe Biden this fall, and you're going to vote for Democrats en masse for a couple of reasons. One, they deserve it. They've earned it, and things are working, and you reward the person who's working out a plan with more time to work that plan even further. Secondly, it lets the Republicans know you mean business, that they can't just count on you sitting on your ass like they have. And it will mean that if one day there is a conservative party or the Republicans make some kind of resurgence, it won't be a maggot party. It'll have to be a reasonable conservative party that is willing to work across the aisle and is more interested in convincing people of their plans than forcing it on people. But right now, they're not scared of a lot of Democrats. I mean, they're going to be. They're going to be. But I'm telling you. Hi, Shannon. Don't worry about it. Take a deep breath. I'm telling you. He's fucked. Not only is Donald Trump not getting any Democrats this time around, he's also, not that he did, but he got I guess he has got a sliver, but he certainly didn't in 2020. He's not going to get the vast majority of independents either, because they want it to actually be a meaningful, they want the government to function normally, the vast majority of independents. And then Republicans, he's lost 30% of Republicans forever. It has to be a blue tsunami. We got to show them that we care about these policies and we want them to continue. Not, don't worry about RFK. RFK Jr. is going to steal more Trump votes than anybody else. He's not going to steal Biden votes. The same dickheads who voted for Jill Stein might vote for him, but those were never Biden votes to start with, and they weren't materially important in 2020, nor will they be this time around. It's a bunch of blather. There will always be a slice of privileged, fucking latte liberal assholes who throw away their vote because, so they can tell someone who they voted for over coffee. I'm just disgusted by the whole thing. Fuck off. They've always been there. They're not going to shift the election. They're not. There's not enough of them, and most of them don't care enough to vote in the first place. A bunch of them aren't. They're going to skip it too. You think you're going to be driven to show up for RFK to just fuck with things for the sake of it? What kind of a dickhead do you have to be to go out on election day or something like that and go, I'll show them, right? Think about what an asshole you would have to be in a truly binary situation where you've got one of these two men is going to be president of the United States, and you're like, fuck everybody, I don't care. I'll show with my secret vote. I'm going to that I'll wear on my collar. I'm going to tell everybody that I want it to all burn down, especially, I won't say that in front of somebody whose house actually burned down, who relies on the government and other stuff to help them get back on their feet or whatever, because obviously I'm for programs that would help people in that situation. But I'm going to vote against them by not voting for them because I'm a fucking asshole. Cornel West will also not be a factor. Again, these are the same fucking derivative dickheads who care more about their image around these issues than their actual the genuine implementation of these ideals. Telling you. It's how it's going to shake out. Take it to the bank. You're fine. Anna from TYT isn't voting for Trump or Biden. Yeah, because that's the business they're in. I mean, they're chaos maggots. They live off the chaos. If the problems start getting solved, what the fuck do they talk about? I got news for you, folks. Let me be abundantly clear. If we get back to let's just say early 90s-esque or mid 90s-esque, Clinton kind of level where government isn't the biggest thing in our fucking life for the first time since 9/11, where we can focus on other things, I got shit I can do. I'm a great actor and a solid stand-up and I sing like a fucking bird. I got plenty of things to do with my time to entertain you folks and bring joy to the world and understanding and all that stuff. I've always had that, and that's my real career and all that kind of stuff. This has been a lovely cul-de-sac in our life during this period of time. But I can keep you guys entertained and informed on a myriad of issues, and it doesn't have to be this if we're not white-knuckling our fucking country once the Trump era bullshit is over. If we get back to that point, hey man, I'm back to doing I love the 80s kind of stuff and making you laugh as you get dressed to go out. That's what I want to do. They can't do that. Tell me what the fuck these assholes do if shit starts working. Any of these assholes. Any of them. The best they can hope for is they become a low-end, allegedly, a progressive or allegedly left-wing version of Alex Jones, and just slice off some conspiracy money for the rest of their life. Right? Yeah, let's get back to fun. By the way, those of you that are patrons, patreon.com/AlSparks, I will be live streaming the stand-up show tomorrow night. And I want to tell you guys, that I'm very excited about it. But I don't. This is how I write my stand up. Is I do it live on stage because I've been doing stand up for so long that it's hard for me to get inspired just sitting there with a piece of paper going, what do I find funny? It doesn't work that way. I gotta challenge myself. I've just put myself out on the tightrope and just improvise. So I just make it up. I just make it up on stage. I don't even prep the area that I'm going to talk about. I try to keep my head as clear of what I could possibly joke about all day long. And the minute I walk on stage, that's when I start actually, like, whatever comes out, that's where I'm going. And I just ride it and write jokes around whatever's coming out. It's all free flowing, and I prefer it that way. It's really fun. And I think who in the chat room has seen one of those shows? Last show was awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, hi. Okay, love you. See you in a bit. I'll swing by. You look fantastic. Wrong number. I'm fine. So you got, if you've seen it, I just make those shows up. I don't prep at all. Occasionally there'll be somebody in the audience that likes a bit of mine and I know they're there, so I'll throw it in for fun, something I've done before. But the entire show, the rest of the entire show, the whole point of it is writing on stage. Because to me, that's the art of it, and I love it, and I love stand-up. I don't do stand-up. I am a stand-up. I don't act. I'm an actor. I don't sing. I'm a singer. I don't play guitar. I'm a musician. Does that make sense? These are identity things for me, and they're very important. And I have them as a way of giving a gift to the world outside of this thing. None of those other motherfuckers do. Not a fucking one. None of them. What the fuck's Chink gonna do? Fucking HGTV show? Right? This old talking point where he pulls out some like rusty dumbass argument that was wrong and tries to retrofit it. Right? This is crucial. And I feel like it's got to be a trust point with you and I, okay? Now, why do I bring that up in particular? It's because I'd like to show you another human being who has no parachute. He's got no exit strategy. There is no way out for the most miserable man on the internet, Greg Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet. There's nowhere after this. If Trump even got back in office, he'd still be miserable and angry about all the cases that would continue because legally it would have to because it's genuine or whatever. And there is no post this bullshit Greg Kelly. It's a little sad. Like there's some, like I think we can all enjoy, if I may, real quick before I do. John Tesh is a great person to bring up. Say what you will about smooth jazz. And what I would say about smooth jazz is you can sing gibberish Michael McDonald over any of it. Let me see if I can give you an example. Let's see. Yeah, I can find something. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do a search for royalty-free smooth jazz. See if there's something in here. Let's try to find this. Jazz lounge. Smooth jazz cafe. Peaceful jazz. Smooth jazz. Yeah, but it's got to be royalty free though. I kind of need it. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's real jazz. That works as real jazz. I need the kind that you can. It's on. Yeah. Yes. Hold on. Yeah, I need some like something in the style of study and work jazz. It's more like R&B jazz. That's not what I need. I need something. Let's see. I need something that sounds like Kenny G. Hold on, I'll find something. I just need something that plays like, you know what channel I'm talking about? Yeah. That's close. It's close. Hold on. Find a piece of it. Coming on, listen. Typical. Fibby-doo, go, go, giggle, go. See what I mean? So, point proven. Yeah. You can always, yeah, it has to have sax, smooth sax. That's sexy. Welcome to Fridays Saxy. I'm your host, Saxy Jenkins. We're here tonight with a wonderful, wonderful night of just the kind of, it's the jazz you love, but it's been put into a NutriBullet. Think of it that way. And we're going to calm you down. Don't worry about it. First up, we've got a lovely song in this situation from one of your favorites. Yeah. This is Michael McDonald with his new song, Who Put That Here? Who put that here? Who put it here? It was supposed to be on my desk. Oh, who put that here? Who put that here on the landing? I know I left it where it was supposed to be, but who put that here? Lovely, that's great. That's his new song. After that, coming up on Jazz Jenkins. We're getting all jazzy. We got another one coming up. This is an early demo. Ironically, of Michael McDonald also. And it's going out there to somebody who's feeling lonely tonight. Somebody sad, needs a little pick-me-up. This is a song from Michael McDonald. Sorry I had to be away. I don't know where I am. The GPS don't work no more. I don't know. The road is dark and I've got a flat. Where am I? Starting to look like a scene from Fargo. Little bit scared. Little bit scared. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. Wherever the fuck where is. Ooh, holding on. You always have to throw in a holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. That was a tear. One tear. Holding on. Where the fuck am I? It's actually better than some of the, it's better than some of the serious music you've heard. I'm very sorry about that. So, play Misty for me. Uh-oh, psycho alert, Carl. Psycho alert. Psycho. Start scatting. I can't do that. I can't scat. In honor of the great Al Jarreau, who's the most brave musician that ever lived. The man had guts. And it takes a lot when you're surrounded by jazz musicians, men and women who practice so hard at their instrument that they can literally play in any key at any time signature, just throwing it, following along live in the moment, flowing with it and everything. They know everything about their instrument they could ever learn. Bass players who can play 5-string, fretless, upright bass. They know everything about the modes and all that stuff. And this motherfucker walks up to them while they're playing their instrument live on stage and goes, and they're like, I practice. Get away from me. I worked really hard on this. You can't just do what I do with your mouth. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine the nerve? Bless his heart. Rest in peace. Walking up to a trumpet player who like was in the military, took fire while doing reveille, learned to be a jazz musician later on, and then he's walking on. The fuck away from me, man! I worked really hard on this. All right, you get my point. So now back to the point I'm trying to make is whiz on this man. Anyways, unless you're Bobby McFerrin, yes. Which, by the way, have you ever heard "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Humble Pie? You're in for a shock. From the 70s. Okay. Now, this is Greg Kelly. For those of you that don't know, he's one of the biggest Trump suck-ups out there. Genuine ones. I think Gorka and some of these other guys are just playing Trump and they want to be part of the cabinet and all that kind of shit. This dumb motherfucker actually thinks he's good at what he does. And it's unbelievable. It's just, I can't grasp it. He's just an asshole. Anyways, so he's also super miserable. And one of the reasons is I think we have to, recognize is that after this next election, it's dead end time for Greg Kelly. I mean, he can make money. The right wing can make a lot of money just on bitching about Trump and maybe shooting for who's going to replace him. And maybe it'll all be Biden death watch from the time he sworn in January. That's what they're going to do. Like, who's going to think that it's going to be Kamala Harris? Then who's she going to bring in? Probably Gavin Newsom, and then he's going to have her stuffed. Or it's going to be fucking Michelle Obama. You're going to hear a bunch of that shit. Anyways, I'm the only one reporting Biden's ultimate moment of hypocrisy. The ultimate moment of Biden's hypocrisy. He's a hypocrite. Doesn't really care. He just pretends.
Joe Biden may be in the White House, but he's still in the basement.
Dude, bruh. He's still in the basement. So, I pretend. What are you doing? Well, you seem oddly pleased with yourself, and what the fuck are you talking about? Also, can I just remind you that Trump literally ran to the bunker in the fucking White House because of protesters at one point?
Absolutely. I don't know if it's technically downstairs or up.
Oh dear.
Upstairs, but he is.
If it's technically, if it's a basement, it's not upstairs. Yeah.
In hiding, just like he was in
hiding
2020. Remember that? COVID was the big excuse.
Wasn't an excuse. He's an older gentleman in the pocket of people most likely to die from it, and he was smart enough to stay out of harm's way. Also, why is this a problem? It's a campaign. Yeah, and by the way, he's in the basement. Maybe that's where you got to be to get an infrastructure bill passed or a fucking budget.
Joe got to stay in the basement, 1 or 2 media appearances max a week, never really on the campaign trail because he was a gaffe-prone machine.
No, that wasn't why.
Anything could happen. They exploited to the hilt COVID.
Yeah, to the hilt. He was like so. Oops, hold on one second. Give me one moment. Sorry, girlfriend needed something, and I will. I have to do a delivery after I leave the show. Just so I've only got a few minutes with you guys, and then. Also, yes, Herman Cain would like a word with Greg Kelly.
Protected Joe Biden, and the cases against Donald Trump are their protection for Joe Biden. It's like the new basement.
God damn, this is a reach. I thought he was just going to make a case that Biden's not doing campaign events, but he is. And fundraisers and all that kind of shit. Like, what?
The cases against Trump, if you've been watching this show, you know, and I know that everything that's happening to him is a...
is totally deserved, and he should have been busted on this shit a long time ago, and he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for fucking decades, and the idea that he didn't know what was going on is fucking ludicrous, especially if he's saying, I know the best people, and he knew Jeffrey Epstein that fucking long, and then he had, he knows the best people. He had Nick Fuentes over with Kanye to talk Jews or some shit at the, what?
Crime. These are fraudulent prosecutions.
No, they aren't. No.
No doubt in the world.
Yeah, well, we have no doubt that you're not done gargling his balls, I guess.
However, I was a little bit naive because I would seize these cases and read the indictments and just drill down and prove
bullshit. No, he didn't.
Prove how that's false and
no, you didn't.
How they're railroading him. But I just joined in to the noise. Granted, most of the noise was on the other side disagreeing with me, but altogether, it's...
Dude, there's no fucking tennis match here of facts versus Greg Kelly's bullshit. First of all, you're playing badminton with an upside down racket with the fucking shuttlecock stuck in it. So, on the other side, they're like going, what is this asshole swinging this stick around in the parking lot for?
Sounds kind of like this.
Oh, this is this is another version of the nobody's read this. Nobody's taken time. Bobbity bob. Yeah. All these people are talking about it. I mean, how can you take it in when they're all playing at once? Because no one takes in the news like this. Are you a fucking lunatic? This is all I can picture is Greg Kelly at the gym, which he doesn't go to, but at the gym, like trying to figure out why these like headphones they pass out are hooked into all the TVs at once. Like, what is this? I don't even want to be on the Stairmaster, but this is why are all the screens at the gym piped into my ears at once? This is hell. All I want to do is watch the infomercial about the Kardashians.
All right, that's enough. All day long, it's about Trump. Today especially, tomorrow, yesterday.
Yeah, but because these are specific times when it wasn't when the bridge collapse happened. There's a lot of other real shit going on. But when he's got, he's got a filing to make. I mean, it is news that he is a presidential candidate for the Republicans. And they're like, yeah, I'm cool with his criming.
That's it. These criminal cases.
Those are delicious. Is that part criminal, part caramel?
Especially tomorrow, yesterday. That's it. These criminal cases.
Oh, the criminal cases. Those, yeah. Have you ever had criminal cases? They melt in your hand, not in your mouth.
And what does that mean for Joe Biden? This should be a referendum on Joe Biden's presidency.
Quit that.
But somehow it's not.
Well, because we don't have to do a referendum on him. Actually, everything he's doing kind of lines up really strongly. The reality is that this is the only reason this is a back and forth is there's a slice of fucking voters who thinks it doesn't matter who's in office and don't make their mind up for a while. And so people are paying attention to what both guys are doing. The interesting thing is Biden is making political news, not entertainment news. All of his news is normal. It's just like presidential shit from when we were kids. It just happens. Trump is a fucking, like, a flaming clown car.
Joe Biden lost a war in Afghanistan.
What do you mean? With the surrender that Trump negotiated? Lost a war in Afghanistan. Trump wants credit for ending it. What the fuck are you talking about?
We all saw it.
No, we didn't. You're a lunatic. That is crazy. Like, what Joe Biden did was extend the date that Trump never meant to honor 90 days and then get us out of there. You notice we're still not there, right? We're not in Afghanistan.
Is anyone talking about that?
Why would we? What the fuck is wrong with you? You think this is gonna settle it? This is the thing that's gonna. Aha! I'll get him with the fact that we're no longer in Afghanistan after 21 years. We'll hang that around Joe's neck. Nobody else got us out. Trump fucking ran on getting us out, you dumb.
This is his legacy.
Yes. One of the things he did was, instead of talking about it, he actually got us out of Afghanistan. Yes, that is part of his legacy. That's it. Yes. Yes, it is. I'm glad it is. I'm sorry that the end of it was always going to be messy, and it's sad that soldiers lost their lives in the process, because it was always going to be a bad situation. But that's what leadership is. You got to make a decision, and when other people don't want to. And Trump didn't want to, because he didn't like what everybody was saying with the number, that this is what it would look like. And he didn't want the numbers to hurt him or look like shit, or that the Taliban would become less distracted and start attacking other people in the area that he was trying to do deals with.
How often is he confronted with new, fresh questions about Afghanistan?
Well, I don't know how many assholes he encounters a day, but if he is, I'm fairly certain most of the people around, maybe including him, but not necessarily, would laugh at that person for being a maggot psychopath.
Virtually never. How about inflation? We're still in the grips of it. I mean,
it's coming down, but like he wants credit for it coming down. Trump wasn't responsible for it going up, but now that it's coming down, this is totally Trump.
What?
By the way, can I just point out that while inflation is something that is a real issue post-COVID, and financially is something that is being addressed and needs to be addressed, and that's fine. We're not for want of anything in this country. We aren't. We have programs for people who are below the poverty line. We have programs to help people who are getting behind. We have, and people a lot of times don't take advantage of them, either out of because of their pride or because of feeling of shame or any of that stuff. But they are there. We're not a third world country. We have resources, and most of what you're seeing in terms of what's inflation right now is what I would call an anti-slavery tax, because we are shortening our supply chains and we are no longer getting shit from countries that use slave labor to do it as best we can. Yes, and French fries are $4.99 a gallon.
I lunch, I eat out. It is insane. I'm making
alone. Yes, we know.
Tuna fish sandwiches from home now, and peanut butter and jelly. My wife.
Well, you work at Newsmax.
Actually makes them.
Wow. Dude, can't even. My wife actually makes. Your wife makes you tuna fish fucking sandwiches. You couldn't let it sit that you made your own fucking sandwiches for a half a fucking second, and you couldn't listen to how he says it.
Fish sandwiches from home now, and peanut butter and jelly. My wife actually makes them. I'm not going to buy lunch out. Nobody is.
Yeah, but a lot of people are. That's, as a matter of fact, that's why it factors in a lot of things. If you look at the price index on stuff, it's about more people eating out. More people are eating at places because they can post-COVID. That role is still happening. Also, you couldn't say this is maybe am I overreacting? Chat room, check me on this. Maybe you'd say, thankfully, my wife makes great lunches, or my wife makes me a sandwich for work, because we're trying to save money, or my wife and I, we take turns making any of that shit. No, his wife makes him fucking peanut butter and jelly and tuna sandwiches, and together, I think, and because she's fucking supposed to. Because she's, thank you, Catherine. God damn, what a creep. Shut the fuck up.
The Ukraine invasion, everybody knows. 61% of the American people believe that this would not be happening if Donald Trump were still president.
Well, yeah, Ukraine would have not had a fighting chance. They would have fallen in a matter of days. Yeah, we know that. And also, that used to be, if you're keeping track, 70%. It's been going down. And you know what's been coming up? Biden's poll numbers. It's almost like they're linked. That's by the way, that's bullshit. The Russians were planning on, Putin specifically was planning on attacking in Trump's second term and hoping Trump would give him a pass. Right after inauguration, when Trump's sworn in again, then they do it, and he's like, well, they don't want to do it. They should have this area anyways, and they would get the entire Donbass and Crimea and then part of Odessa because they would fight their way into it and probably wipe out the leadership and allow them to put their sock puppets back in. By the time Trump picked up the fucking phone, largely it would be over. And Trump would have absolutely not only would he have given Gaza to Bibi, he would have insisted that Bibi flatten the fucking place for developers like himself. Welcome to Trump Tower Gaza.
And what about the border? That's Joe Biden, all right?
No. Well, Title 42 is to blame for the recidivism, the high number of people that were crossing and recrossing and crossing again and stuff. The number's been coming down because of that. And also these assholes, if he keeps playing the tape, will run smack dab into an actual gate and not go in.
That's him. And for every
what do you think they cut away? What do you think the chances are?
Indictment, for every case, for every hearing, for every motion, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about the transgender mess that has been encouraged and embraced by Joe Biden, the sexualization.
The transgender mess that has been encouraged by Joe Biden. Respect for trans people equals being for drag queens twerking in front of children, which I got news for you. Joe Biden would not be for. I'm not for it. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I think it's embarrassing and gross. There's adult entertainment, and then there's children's entertainment. Never the twain shall meet. Fuck off. And it makes it harder for those of us that are fighting for real people's rights against this performative horseshit. Right? That would be the thing. Yep. Meanwhile, yeah, Trump fucking owes Stormy Daniels or money over a hand job.
Of children, the moment in America has been designed really to protect Joe and hurt Donald Trump.
How is this? I mean, I got to tell you, this looks like something that's concocted to make it look like it's everywhere. And also, Greg, you look excited. It looks like something that people are intentionally cooking up and paying for or encouraging so that they can get footage like this that they can use to attack Biden because he wants trans people to have genuine rights. When this is not the same thing. I got news for you, too. Trans rights and the ability of drag queens to twerk in front of children is totally unrelated. They have nothing to do with each other. Nothing at all. But when you conflate the two, what you're saying is that this is the kind of behavior you expect from all trans people, and that's bigoted. By the way, I also don't use the phrase transphobic because it's not about fear. I mean, I think there are some transphobic people who are afraid that the woman they're making out with might have a penis. That would be the transphobic moment, right? Because that's an irrational fear in that moment of, oh my God, I'm sexually aroused by this thing that's going on. What if? Yikes. That qualifies, right? But just generalized, unless you think that's down the road for you, you're not phobic about anything. You're just a fucking bigot.
I don't agree with everything that Chris Christie says. Remember Chris Christie? But
no, I don't remember Chris Christie at all. You'll have to remind me.
He kind of
didn't
nailed it when a few months ago he predicted that Joe Biden could not really sustain a presidential campaign.
Do you see Joe Biden on Air Force One doing 7-8 campaign stops a day at 82 years old and being effective? Can you imagine how many gaffes there are going to be in those speeches? How many mistakes?
Gee, it's almost like you're predicting Trump's speeches.
How many
It's almost like you think Donald Trump can have 4 legal cases going on at once and these deals that he allegedly wants to do in other countries and his fucking Trump media and technology group bullshit and do all these stops? Well, guess what, motherfucker? Guess which one of them is a rolling fucking gaff machine?
It's really an ominous
right.
Look,
wait.
Yeah.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges.
Deliberately, willfully, and with total premedication.
combat infantrymen, the diversity lottery, and God bless the United States.
Yeah. What he's saying is true about Trump.
Right? Falsehood still not because of any other reason than he's just making it up. Look,
well,
he's
I don't know.
John, look, he is not capable of running a traditional American race.
It's totally right.
Guess what? It's 2024. He doesn't have to.
COVID kept him off the campaign trail in 2020, and now Donald Trump's indictments and these phony cases against him, well, the scrutiny is off of Joe Biden. And, you know, it's quite a...
Well, it's kind of extreme. I mean, you do realize in the biggest one, Trump could have avoided all this shit simply by not stealing classified documents and engaging in a conspiracy to hide them, even from his own fucking lawyer.
Apparent now that Trump is not going to get convicted in any serious way, at least
hold that thought.
Before the election.
At least before the election. I see.
And I thought, great, okay, then this has worked to his favor and he's enhanced in the polls. But they still have kind of dirtied him up, right?
Yeah, they did. They dirtied him up. How dare they? Going back in time and making him sexually assault E. Jean Carroll and then tricking him into shit-talking her after he'd already been busted for it and doing it again and again. And then, you know, luring him into these fraudulent real estate schemes with these sketchy Kazakh fucking pedophile prostitute ring dudes and guys who, you know, he gave business cards to who were engaged in securities fraud and all that. Like, Democrats, how do you do it? It's amazing.
I mean, if you falsely accuse somebody, you kind of dirty them up. You also rough them.
Well, obviously that's what Comer's trying to do. I mean, it doesn't really work.
Them up, literally.
Rough them up, literally.
Arresting somebody, tied them up, take them off the campaign trail.
He wasn't arrested and tied up. Simmer the fuck down. He wasn't even cuffed. He got to show up. The rest of us don't get that benefit. This motherfucker got to walk in and get fingerprinted and walk out.
Even if they don't get a conviction, some of this plan has already worked for them.
Yeah, because a lot of Americans have seen the evidence already. We all watched on January 6th, you dumb motherfucker.
But it does also look like it's backfiring, doesn't it?
No. No, it doesn't.
And some of the other things that Joe Biden has gotten away with. I mean, this is the documents, the classified documents.
Yeah, that's not showing me anything. There's no classified markings on that. That's a box of documents. For all you know, that's his fucking taxes, dummy. Donald Trump had actual classified folders, some of which were empty. Where the fuck was the shit that was in it? Good Lord. What's this of? Biden's back taxes? Seriously.
His garage. Can anybody believe that this happened and we're just going to pretend it didn't? We're just going to blow it off?
We didn't blow it off, and neither did he. When they discovered the stuff at Penn, he was like, go through all the stuff, get whatever you need. I won't stand in your way. I won't even be there, you know. If you need anybody to show you around, you're fine. You don't have to break in the door. We'll let you in. It's fine. Look everywhere. They did. They took what they found that was, you know, so they could review it. None of it was like human intel. None of it was current plans. None of it was like it wouldn't have been reclassified. And if it, you know, now because it's so old.
You know, look at that dump of a garage. And everybody has kind of a sloppy garage, but that.
God, that's the thing about it. He's got like an old man's garage
That's bad. Where were the documents at Mar-a-Lago? On a stage. And only, by the way, a sliver of these documents, I'm talking about 2 folders full, were actually classified.
Oh, no, sir.
You know, I've been in that room. I've been in that very room.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Does it have windows?
My interview with Trump from last.
Hey, look at that. No spy could get through that with a credit card.
Year was in that very room. You know, the security to get into that place, incredibly intense. I had Secret Service dogs. I had metal detectors, wands, barricades that you had to drive through. You can't just walk in there.
Yes, you can.
Like you could into Joe Biden's garage.
Hold on. No. Also, real quick, let me. All right. I gotta get out of here because I gotta go do something else. But I think. Let's see. Donald Trump. Try to do this. This is one of Trump's properties. This lady. Hi. This is for those of you who don't know. This is a lady who called her. Who told everybody that she was a Rothschild. She got into Mar-a-Lago by saying she's a member of the Rothschild family. Is she a member of Mar-a-Lago? No. No, she is not. Did she show up with other guests and got screened with them? No. She just showed up in an expensive fucking car. Her real name, though, is Inna Yashishin. She claimed to be Anna de Rothschild, an heiress for the famous European banking dynasty, the Rothschilds, and gained access to the former U.S. President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago from CNN reports. There you go. Journalists tracked down, and they tracked down who she was. Here you go. This is the, should we post, let's see. Yeah, I guess we could play it. Yeah.
So that's how they're so productive.
That's an ad. Hold on. Play it for the ad for 1 second. So let's talk about how, we'll end on how hard it is for somebody to, with a Russian using a fake name, pretending she's a fucking Rothschild, to roll up. Here you go. Hold on. Wait, back up. Back the book up.
He's talking about this woman, whom he thought was Anna de Rothschild. John Lefebvre, an investment banker and guest at Mar-a-Lago, says he met her at the club last year.
Met her at the club. She was already there.
Just before Mother's Day. He says she passed herself off as a member of the Rothschild family's banking dynasty and called it a near-perfect ruse.
She talked about growing up in Monte Carlo. She talked about her grandparents' house in West Palm Beach.
Yeah, that's what all the Rothschilds say.
She talked about family investments in the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas.
The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project were first to report the woman's alleged caper at Mar-a-Lago, which former President Trump calls home. They say she visited there at least 5 times last year. And new reporting by the Gazette and OCCRP has revealed possible ties.
Chasing Anna. Russian mob pursued fake heiress who spent days at Mar-a-Lago.
To a Russian gang enterprise with a history of money laundering. This is video they obtained of her driving up to the Mar-a-Lago club's front doors.
She's wearing designer clothes. She's got the gold Rolex watch.
Yeah, you don't need ID or something. You know, that's how you vote in West Palm Beach, by the way. You just wear designer clothes and you roll up in a fancy car, and that's your ID.
She's wearing Van Cleef & Arpels, bracelets.
The Post-Gazette and OCCRP reported that numerous records have been turned over to the FBI as part of the investigation. These are just some of the fake IDs those media outlets say the 33-year-old woman was allegedly using. 2 fake passports, one from the U.S. and one from Canada, and a Florida driver's license that uses the home address of an $18 million mansion in Miami Beach, where the Pittsburgh
that no one lives.
Post-Gazette says she has never lived. Look closely. The name on all of them is Anna de Rothschild. But that woman is not Anna de Rothschild. Her real name is Inna Yashishin.
She's driving a brand new Mercedes G-Wagon, $170,000, and she has transformed herself into Anna de Rothschild.
We used her real identity, Inna Yashishin, to track down her lawyer. She declined our request for an on-camera interview, but
that's weird. Even under a fake name?
Through her lawyer told us she had only come here to the Mar-a-Lago club once on May 1st, 2021.
Yeah, still that the fact that she could get in on that bullshit once, she got in at least 5 times.
When asked if she claimed to be a Rothschild, she said she had never used that name inside Mar-a-Lago and never held herself out as that.
So they let a Russian woman for no fucking reason who's not a member in a fancy car enter the club anyways. I got news for you. That's worse.
That is, categorically false. And I can say that definitively, she presented herself as a Rothschild. In fact, she said she was going to her grandparents' house the evening before we played golf to pick up her golf clubs.
Those golf clubs were used to play at nearby Trump International Golf Course the day.
Huh. So she just walked onto that place too. And there he is.
After John Lefebvre says he met her at Mar-a-Lago. This picture first obtained.
Hey, that's Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump, and a Russian spy who just walked into Mar-a-Lago under a fake name. Now tell me again, Greg Kelly, how hard it is to get into, wait for it, this fucking room. You think Anna de Rothschild, motherfucker, she could have walked up and knocked and they'd have let her in. God damn, these people are stupid. Fuck off.
By the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette shows Ina, or Anna, posing for photos with both Donald Trump and Senator Lindsey Graham, who were at the course.
Sorry, I thought that was Tim Conway's stunt double. It's Lindsey.
Holding a fundraiser for the midterm elections.
So campaign finance stuff. She was just showing up as a member of a wealthy family at a campaign finance fundraiser. So that's not hinky.
Interaction with Trump, was 5 seconds at most. She was very good at acting like she had been in those types of situations before. So she was not starstruck.
In this video obtained from the Post-Gazette, you can hear a guest off camera joking with her that she could afford to pay $1 million for a photo with Trump.
Anna, you're Rothschild. You could afford $1 million for the picture of you and Trump.
Notice she made no attempt to correct him. Her lawyer told us she was in a location where people thought she had money and that no one would be so quick to correct them. Another video from that same day shared with us by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette shows her at an event at the golf club where she sat.
That's so weird. There she is. What do you know?
Just feet away from Trump, who was at.
It's weird. Who's just blathering national secrets.
The podium. After that golf tournament on May 2nd, 2021, the woman allegedly posing as Anna de Rothschild went out for dinner with a group of Trump supporters. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette shared this photo with CNN. That's her in the back, standing behind Don Jr.
Hey, look at that. It's
Kimber's fiancée, Kimberly Guilfoyle. The man standing all the way to the left is John Lefebvre, who told me he first met the woman at the Mar-a-Lago pool. And the woman's lawyer also confirmed she attended a fundraiser for former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens during the same week. It was held at a Palm Beach mansion.
For Anna, stay strong. That's what I would say to somebody who was a Rothschild.
And owned by Trump.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you think, oh, the poor Rothschilds. Oh, dear.
We reached out to Trump, Eric Greitens, and Lindsey Graham for comment, but they didn't respond.
That's weird. Did you maybe ask Anna to reach out to them?
The FBI also declined to comment.
Oh, yeah, ongoing investigation.
But the woman's visit to Mar-a-Lago does raise all kinds of questions about security.
Why? I don't know. That's ridiculous. Come on. That's silly talk. What's weird about this except everything?
Security, given the club is also the former president's home, where classified
part-time apartment
documents were discovered in his.
Yeah, it's weird. So there's documents there. She's a Russian spy, pretending to be a Rothschild, manages to walk around, is there 5 times without a membership, without being sponsored by anybody. It's kind of randomly, but walking around. Everybody, she fits in so well. Nobody questions where she goes and that kind of stuff. And I'm sure, somebody had an eye on her at all times.
Possession back in August.
I was surprised at how little there is in terms of real bona fide checking of who comes in and out of Mar-a-Lago.
Unless you're Greg Kelly, in which case they're like, oh, this motherfucker's, I don't know. We can't let this guy into Mar-a-Lago. He looks like he rides the bus and he smells like tuna fish. The fuck?
Especially when he was an ex-vice president before he started running for president.
He's still an ex-vice president. Wait a minute. Hold on. Ex what?
Drew, you can't just walk in there. like you could into Joe Biden's garage, especially when he was an ex-vice president before he started running for president. So he's off the hook? No, he's not. We have to remind everybody.
Yeah, remind everybody.
Just what, forgive me, a hypocrite Joe Biden is. I was going to say something worse.
What were you going to say? What could you possibly say? What? Fire it up, big boy. What are you, like, you pulling a Bongholio? You had a show called Uncensored, but you can't say what you want to say? Say it, you fucking twerp.
This is the ultimate moment, I believe, in hypocrisy. We all know about the documents, right? The documents that were found in Joe Biden's possession. They try to make this look worse than it was, Donald Trump. They took them out of the boxes, threw them on the floor.
They didn't throw them on the floor. They were showing what was in certain boxes, laying those documents out. These boxes were supposed to be, they weren't even supposed to be in his fucking office, dummy.
Biden actually had them on the floor. And you remember Joe's reaction?
Also, no, there were documents on the floor, but not classified documents on the floor. Again, that box you were showing that had documents in it, those aren't classified documents. You have no fucking idea what those were.
When you saw the photograph of the top secret documents laid out on the floor at Mar-a-Lago, what did you think to yourself, looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen, how anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that, I mean names of people who helped, or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
How could this possibly happen? The President of the United States caught in the ultimate moment of hypocrisy.
No, not quite. You see, what you caught him in was being nice. He was giving Trump the benefit of the doubt. He was just thinking he was irresponsible when it was really a criminal endeavor. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. I think so too. All right. I just wanted to see what his point was, and it's that. I mean, at this point, I would be shocked if it wasn't that moment, or it wasn't the fucking Shokin firing shit again. I got to run. You guys are wonderful. I got to run something to my girlfriend. I got to throw some clothes in a bag and fucking head out. And then I got a busy day tomorrow. And so I'm going to have a morning show tomorrow, but I will not have an afternoon show. But I will be, for our patrons, I will be live streaming the show at Flappers. And then I'm doing radio from LA and then coming back. So wish me luck on the fucking road technology. Adore you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting the show. Thanks for hitting the like and all that kind of stuff. We will see you again very, very soon. Look at the big crowd in here. I mean, it's amazing. You know, even
outside, it's packed.
I mean, that's the amazing thing. I know a lot of people watch the show and you aren't subscribed. I know if you work for Colbert or Seth Meyers Writers or those folks, you can't subscribe. I get it because people will know. But everybody else should hit the subscribe. Just saying. Just, I look forward. Hi, Seth. Hi, Stephen. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. I love you guys too. And I've got no issue with this. This is all, as far as I'm concerned, these jokes are, that I do on here are community property. My characters are mine, but, you know, let's just get the information out. Let's be abundantly clear. It's not worth protecting this shit for fucking, you know, for what's at stake. You understand?
You know, we just had another stock drop. You saw that, right? You know, I told the U.S. Marshals to go get the man who killed another man. Yesterday is a hard word for me. Very large brain. Despite these obstacles, Karen, stinks there were real bipartisan solutions. No perverts.
de-engineering. Action replays in magnified fortune. They just explode. The Burmese executives. So these Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. Michigan gave us Motang. We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President Mike Pence and his wonderful wife, Karen.